Ken, I'm running for re-election, and I want to take you with me on the road. I'd love to be introduced every night the way you introduced me tonight. It is great to be with you, and particularly people like my friend Jerry Madden, who is a leader in the Texas legislature on criminal justice reform. And of course, so many folks at the Texas Public Policy Foundation, which has taken up the mantle. I see Mark here and others who have been really the role models for what we're trying to do in the Senate. I was mentioning to the group I was talking to earlier, I said this is an example of how federalism is supposed to work. You know, Louis Brandeis called the states the laboratories of democracy, and what we've seen is those laboratories produce best practices and a smarter approach to an area we know is a main responsibility of government, and that's provide public safety and law and order. But we discovered in Texas, like people discovered elsewhere, that there are costs, monetary and otherwise, to locking people up and throwing away the key. And in fact, the vast majority of people are going to end up leaving prison someday, and the question is going to be, are they going to come right back, or are we going to try to help them become productive members of society and help them transition, learn new life skills, job skills, and others, get the sort of rehabilitation and treatment they need to give them a chance. America has always been a country of second chances, and now, amazingly, as a result of this great experiment that we've seen in, I think, 16 or 17 states, you have people on the right, like me, and people on the left, like Sheldon Whitehouse from Delaware, who are, yeah, Delaware. Rhode Island, excuse me. One of those little blue states. Sheldon and I were attorney generals together, so I've known Sheldon a long time, and he's a very fine lawyer. But my point is, this is pragmatic. This is based not on just theory. This is based on the evidence, and the evidence produced by those experiments in the various states like Texas, that we can live within our means financially, and we can help people on the front end who can be diverted to rehabilitation and hopefully not have to be incarcerated if they're not a threat to themselves or society. And then on people on the back end to try to find ways to then transition them so they don't find themselves back into incarceration. So this wouldn't be happening but for the leadership of many of you here in this room. And I'm just delighted to be here, and I want to say thank you very much for that great lesson that we can then hold up and say, you know what, this works. Because so much of what happens in Washington today is based on this idea that Washington knows best, one size fits all, and we know that the founders were absolutely correct. When, at the beginning of our country, they said, you know, we really have some doubts whether a national government will work and serve the interests of a republic as big as ours. They were right then, and we've seen now that as a result of some of the failed experiments here in Washington in the last few years, that this one-size-fits-all Washington knows best does not work. So that's why I'm so excited about you helping us prove that federalism does work. The states are those laboratories of democracy, and rather than just solely ideological or philosophical arguments, we can look at the hard evidence and say this is what will help us find our way to a more secure, humane, and system that believes in second chances and people hopefully learning sometimes the hard way from their mistakes, but giving them a second chance to get back as productive citizens. So thank you for letting me come by. Thank you for that nice introduction, Ken, and I hope you all enjoy your conference. Thank you.